Good morning. I'd like to start with a modern gospel tune by Andre Crouch, Called Soon and Very Soon. That woke you up, didn't it?
Welcome, everyone. Would you please stand and join us in our opening song, When All God's Children.
What a time, what a the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock of my soul. When all God's children stand together, what a time, what a time, what a time. All the hearts in the world gonna rise up as one. What a time that'll be. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul.
So before we sit, let us do the Christ in me. The Christ in me creates the Christ in you. The Christ in me creates the Christ in you. Christ in me creates the Christ in you. Christ in me creates the Christ in you. And now we have just completed principle number 2.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain in my soul. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain. I've got love like a mountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul.
And you may be seated. So for our Unity Minute today, we're going to go over principle number 4. We've done the first 3, which is God is, shortened, God is, I am, I think, and the third is I think, which is the law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And that was last week. And now today is I pray and meditate. So just quickly, I know you know what prayer is. We just had that wonderful workshop with Ginny and Ann, Reverend Ginny and Reverend Ann, and learned so much. I'm still going over some of the things because they've changed it since I first learned. So it's a little bit of unlearning and learning, but it is so powerful, and I hope that you all enjoyed it as well. So we know what prayer is. We know that in Unity we do affirmative prayer. Instead of saying, God save me, we say, I affirm that the right and perfect solution is already in the mind of God. So a little shift in thinking for those of you who didn't go to the workshop. Prayer and meditation are here to align us with our spiritual nature. It is glorious communion with God. And that's why I love it so much every morning. I can't say that. I'm going to be truthful. It's not every morning. It's as many mornings as I can possibly make, and more so than not. Prayer is us coming into alignment with what Spirit has for us and working it out with Spirit. So a lot of times in my prayer, and maybe in yours, you start with this thing is just really bothering me. But if I keep that thought, I am stuck in but this thing is bothering me whirlwind. When with affirmative prayer, you would say, okay, let's look at this differently. Let's see how ways I can think about it, ways I can work through it that would bring me to peace, and more align myself with what Spirit has for me. Jesus said, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. The Sanskrit interpretation of that talks about believe that you have received it. Step into that feeling that it has already happened and enrobe yourself with that feeling. The reason they said that is that Spirit not only listens to our words are what we use in prayer. Most of us, many of us have silent prayer. But if you're using words, it's working through the words, working through the feeling of the words so that they become more in line not only with Spirit, but with joy and with coming to peace. So why aren't all prayers answered with a yes? We talked about that last week too, but I've got a little bit extra on that. That is that when we pray, whether silently or with words, we are attracting from a deeper unconscious desire. And so we talked about this a little bit last week, where we have several layers of consciousness that we are living at the same time. So we are living the very real physical world. We are also living this monkey mind that's going on while we're living in the real world. And there are so many other layers underneath that are also working for our good. And so we may ask for something and want it with all of our heart. But if it's not in agreement with our bigger soul and with Spirit, it's not going to be coming to us. We are going to attract from a deeper unconscious desire. Another reason we may not get what we want is that we are blocking the answer that we want. In other words, someone seeking abundance in money. Who doesn't want that? But some people may be thinking that they don't deserve it. I would love money, but I was always told that money is the root of all evil. All those things, all that muck that we got growing up. So there may be an unconscious pushing away of the gift of money. Those wanting a deeper relationship may be pushing it away because of fear of being hurt or inconvenienced, or the extra spiritual work that is required to have a healthy, happy relationship. So they say they want it, they don't really want it. Prayer is talking with God. Meditation is listening to God. And so that's why I incorporate both in my morning meditation prayer time. Because I find that first I start with a prayer. Something's on my mind. This is just me, doesn't have to be you. Something's on my mind. I want to get it figured out, straightened out. I want to get right with it. And so I ask the question, God, what would you have for this situation? What am I not seeing? And then I go into meditation and let the answers come. It's wonderful. It's my way of doing it. You may do it opposite. But prayer and meditation do go hand in hand. Ask a question or declare a desire and then listen for the answer. The benefits of doing this, you will have greater calm and clarity, not just in that moment, but it continues throughout the day. It connects you to the field. The field is that's just waiting for you to jump in. And I will say that once you jump into the field, you will be amazed at the synchronicities that happen in your life. I can give you one little quick story. The Sufis up in Richmond, every once in a while we get together and we do what's called a meshk. And all that is spiritual songs and spiritual readings, usually Rumi, something like that. And one morning before meshk, I got up and I was meditating and something said, pick all the songs that you love. Because there's so many songs, I don't know most of them. I know some of them I really love. So I got up and I picked the songs, and I had about 5 songs that I really loved. I was like, oh, I hope we do one of these, that kind of thing. And then later that night when we had meshk, the young man who led it, he knows all the songs, and he is so accomplished as a musician and a singer. Don't you know, every song he picked was the songs that I picked in the morning. So it can, the synchronicities that can happen, they'll be surprising, they'll be wonderful. And so I want to leave you with one last thought about meditation and prayer. Just do it. Okay? And let the blame and shame, I'm talking to myself, let the blame and shame about not doing it go away. It's not true. Ernest Holmes said, I live in the faith that there is a presence and power greater than I am that nurtures and supports me in ways I could not even imagine. Love yourself into giving yourself a little bit of time in the morning. If you can't do an hour, do 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And the more you do it, the more you'll want to do it. It sets up your life for the day, and you can receive so many surprising insights and gifts from this. And so that's principle 4. I pray and meditate. I don't have the full wording. Prayer and meditation align us to our own spiritual nature. Isn't that true? There's your Unity Minute. So let us say the Lord's Prayer. Come into alignment. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. 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 Now please stand and sing with us. A light in this world.
We did this one other time, but I will play through the first part just as a reminder.
Thank you. Right, if you have someone in your life that you'd like to pray for that you would like to pray for, or a situation, hold them in your heart. No judgment, no fixing, just hold them in your heart. And picture them surrounded by love. And let us say together, as we center ourselves in the one presence and one power, we realize that our thoughts have the power to heal and bless. We send them out now, carrying love, peace, joy, and light to situations and celebrations that we hold in our hearts. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, we transform the world. Amen.
Good morning. Just a quick little note that on the prayer, the 5-step prayer flow that some of us learned during the workshop, I created a little quick brief overview of it, and I'm having Jackie put it in the newsletter. There's also a link. Thank you. There's a link to Silent Unity or to Unity's page where Linda Martellowitz explains the process, goes through it, examples it, shows examples of it. So, look for that next Tuesday.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
So today's daily word is world peace. I'll say the affirmation first and then have you say it with me. I hold a vision for a peaceful world. Together?
I hold a vision for a peaceful world.
And now, let me finish. Okay, say our world peace in our daily word. The peace I wish to see in the world begins in my own heart. To call upon the peace within me and bring it into the world, I use my spiritual gift of love to feel in harmony with all others. I use my power of imagination to envision the world filled with peace. And through my gift of will, I choose peaceful responses no matter the circumstance. I envision God's healing and loving power enfolding the earth and all its people. As I claim this spiritual vision, my heart is lifted and it's easier for me to perpetuate peace. The notion that others are holding the same vision of a peaceful world encourages and comforts me. I pray our shared goal of peace on earth touches every heart and mind in every corner of the globe. And from Isaiah 26:3, those of steadfast mind you keep in peace, because they trust in you. And now, Candace's going to be talking on, imagine that, finding peace in uncertainties.
Isn't that wonderful? We didn't even plan that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Judy. Yeah, we didn't coordinate that, but it worked out great. So, let me take a breath. Take a breath with me. Let us affirm that whatever has gone on in our life this past week, month, and in your being, and in your heart, is now closed. Consider this time your reset moment. Reset. We are new. We are not burdened. We are not. No, I need to do this affirmatively. Excuse me. We are light. We are seeing the way forward. We can't control what happens around us. We can control what happens in us. We can't control what others think. We can control how we think. We can't control what fate may have for us. But we can hold on to our vision of peace and thriving for all humanity, undeterred, no matter what physical things are going on around us. We know that this is already in the mind of God. Have you ever noticed that when you're upset, you're not as effective? Starts with one stumble, one something that gets on your nerves, and it kind of snowballs. But have you also noticed that when you are in peace, that is what you see? You are more likely to see peace when you are in a state of peace. Yet peace is elusive in these unprecedented times. Most major spiritual traditions suggest that peace can only come from within. Let's spend a little bit of time looking at ancient wisdoms and how this has come down to us. This must be a universal law. Because Hinduism, over 4,000 years old. Buddhism, 2,500 years old. Are peace-centered spiritual practices. From the Old Testament, from the Jewish tradition, of course, we also have the Old Testament, but Deuteronomy, which was written the 7th to 5th century BCE, says, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged." Rumi, 700 AD. "Yesterday I was so clever. I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise. So I'm changing myself." 2 Timothy, New Testament. "For God gave us spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." And finally, somebody that you probably don't know, I didn't know, but I love this. I love studies. He's a cognitive psychologist, and he did research on violence throughout history. And he says that in the 20th century, with 2 world wars, urban violence, major pandemics, statistically, it is the safest time in history for humanity to be alive. That we are least likely in the 20th century, now it's the 21st century, I realize that. Least likely in the 20th century to have a violent act visited upon us than any other previous time in history. I know that's not how we perceive it, but it gives us a little hope. So I want to take a moment, and I want us to help each other. I know that probably every single one of you has a peace practice of your own. I know that when I get triggered, when I'm triggered and I don't have tools with me, I don't have my candle, I don't have my whatever, my stones, I use my breath. And Paul Hasselbeck, who's a very famous Unity minister, said that he does the 4-7-8 breathing practice. Inhale on 4, hold for 7, exhale on 8. So I want you to try that with me. First, let's just do an inhale, exhale. So let's inhale, exhale. See the air flowing into your lungs. Inhale. And exhale, leaving. So let's try the 4-7-8. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I found that this practice, especially if you are in conflict with another human being, throws them off balance a little bit. And they have to check themselves too. And it helps both of us come to peace. So I want to ask you, what are your coping mechanisms? And coping mechanisms is not positive either. What are your peace practices? Does anybody have something that they can share? And I know we've got a lot of psychology people here and helping. Yes,
It is nothing special,
it's always special.
it's just my own, like, if I'm speaking with somebody, or I see somebody, especially when I used to be at work, coming down the hall towards me, that I know my hair on my neck is gonna stand up when I have to interact with them. I visualize this beautiful, kind of multicolored, like imagine you're in a giant soap bubble, and then everything coming towards me just either flows around, flows over, and doesn't touch me.
That's wonderful. I love that visualization, a soap bubble, the iridescent soap bubble, right? Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Does anybody else have something they do? I know you do. Yes.
Okay.
And by the way, it's good to see you.
Me too. It's the first time I've been here since you were inaugurated.
Yes, I was.
We were talking about this on the way in the car. I just feel really different, much lighter, and my practice now basically is that just think about the moment I'm in, and if I'm not happy, then why? Think about it, and it's always my doing. It's never anybody else to blame, never. And you're trying. When we grew up, psychologists talk about up until like age 7 or whatever, we just take stuff in, we just take it in.
Mm-hmm.
So then we find out, oh, that's who you are. You're Steve, you're this, and you're a boy, you're in middle class, you're whatever you are. So then we spend our whole life after that trying to make the world be what we need it to be so that we're comfortable and happy and that other people like us and all that. But you can't make the world do anything. You can't. It's just,
There you go.
what was it, the Rumi or whoever you were just talking about?
Yeah.
Change himself, you can't change that. So at any given moment, if I'm struggling against what is, I'm unhappy. And I'm willing, and that doesn't mean now that I have this great realization, doesn't mean I've suddenly, I can still be triggered. Not that she ever gets to experience it or anything.
Because she's perfect.
Because you have all
I'm
these
serious.
But the thing is, if you're mindful, you see it. And that's the game, that's what I'm doing all day long. I'm watching, I'm saying, I'm doing that because I want people to think I'm funny or clever or, deeply spiritual or all this. What if I don't do it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll still be okay. I'll be all right. But sometimes I still do it anyway, even though I see that it's just a naked ploy for some kind of, validation or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to bring it on home, just the spiritual practice, for me, the peace practice is just, the moment is perfect. It always is. And that can mean that you're in pain. That can mean that something bad is happening. And if you can change it, sure, change it. Go out and change it. Take a pill or, go out and help somebody or whatever. But if you can't change it, then realize that's part of the richness of life. Without those lows, we wouldn't have the highs.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. So does anybody have another practice that they do? Yes, Jane.
My practice is simple. Started at
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Speak up, can you talk louder?
Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I always tell you, I feel like I'm yelling when I'm doing that, but okay. So this is a practice I've had for 30 years, and what it does for me is if I'm driving down the road and the car in front of me is too slow and I'm mad, I just surround that car with golden light. If I am upset about the weather, I surround the weather, whatever it is. I use golden light all the time. Sometimes I switch up to white light, but it's not to protect me, it's to protect them from me.
This is great, okay. I saw a couple other hands go up. Yes. Yeah, Ingrid.
So when I taught, I know this isn't the option for everybody, but I taught in high school, and in between classes, we didn't have a lot of time, but I usually had a planning block at some point. And usually, I can handle a fair bit of annoyance throughout the day, but it would continue to build, and if I would feel myself like a class might receive a side of myself that they didn't deserve, because I had been kind of like building up over time. And I found if I got to my planning block, I would lie down, I had a little couch in the back, and I would put my headphones on and listen to just some rain sounds or some bird sounds for 10 minutes, and it would just kind of reset all my senses, because I could feel myself buzzing. I'm like, nobody deserves this version of me here now. So that is very helpful to me.
That is, and boy, those children, those students really benefited from your practice. It wasn't just you that benefited. I love the way that works. Yeah.
I found that even when I'm having a rough time or something that I feel like I need to reset, I put a smile on my face even when I'm not feeling it, because it literally scientifically proven, I love it, that increases all those lovely endorphins and dopamine and all that. It's right there. You don't even have to take a pill.
Love
It's
it.
right there with the smile, and it changes everything. It really opens my heart and lets me relax and be there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Literally saw smiles just go on all around.
Yeah.
I try to just do it every morning. As soon as my eyes open up, I smile.
Oh, I
And
like that.
it just changes my whole body, and that's when I do my little gratitude time.
Love that. I'm gonna start that. Yeah.
Just a couple little things. I was trained in hypnosis at one point.
Oh,
And
you're
it
gonna
was-
hypnotize us?
Oh, it's
At
just,
some point?
it's a love, the learnings you get from all that I got, and I keep trying to spread everywhere I can. But that language, the affirmative language, is so important. And just a couple little gifts. When I start meditating, as I allow myself to practice my meditation practice meditation, as I allow, talk to yourself gently in the language of permission rather than demand.
You have to do this, or you, yeah.
You gotta do this. And also I never say I'm against anything, because you can flip anything you're against into a
I'm
verb.
for.
I am for this.
Yes.
And it feels different.
Doesn't that though? Yes.
And so those things, and also, by the way, phrases sometimes, instead of full sentences, saying that, I also greatly appreciate the 5 affirmations in the beginning of every month in the daily word that you can also say to yourself before you go into meditation. But phrases like, I've been battling a few different, let's put it this way, a few different viruses have crossed my path. And so I will start a meditation with auto-suggestion. That's you hypnotizing yourself, saying, healing energy flowing through me, going where it needs to go. That is just so easy. So easy. So anything you could say to yourself that's melodic and affirming and flowing, go with it.
Wonderful. Oh, that's beautiful. Did you know that? Yeah.
Movement.
Yes.
In something, or I was myself in the grocery store the other day, and I started like I started thinking and ruminating, and I thought everything goes in. All of a sudden I heard the music. I'm like, there's music playing. And this thing I was thinking through the house, and my whole face, and I start thinking, and it becomes more kinesthetic. So anytime you get moving, hey, it's really
Yes. And the endorphins get going when you move too. So there's a biological component and a spiritual component. Oh, that's beautiful. And the wonderful thing is there's YouTube. And you can find a room in your house where there's nobody, turn on YouTube and just dance. Dance, and nobody's going to be judging you. You can be as goofy or as graceful as you want to be, and it doesn't matter. Just move. You know the power of movement. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Stacy.
One thing that's really good is you were speaking about when we're feeling having an issue with somebody else. And it's like when I get triggered with somebody else, I go back to, okay, to me, what in them am I seeing that I haven't loved in myself?
Nice.
Oh, I perceive them as judging. Oh, I accept and love the part of me that judged it. I forgive myself. And then all of a sudden the compassion for me then extends to them because I see them as an extension of me.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I see we're going short on time. So, thank you all for contributing. I just want to add one to all this because I had lunch with a bunch of friends last week, and they are all spiraling out of control. And so we did some breathing practices. And I found on the internet, if I could have that next slide. This is Steve. There it is, Stephen Covey and Cindy Wigglesworth. Cindy Wigglesworth is with Unity Houston. Stephen Covey, of course, is that very famous, so many habits of highly successful people. They broke it down into areas of concern. The outer ring is concern. In other words, I'm concerned about the Middle East. You can't do anything about it, so spend the least amount of time on that little circle. The next circle is influence, so things you have influence over but cannot control. And that'd be like if your daughter wants to go to college in either North Carolina or California and you don't want her to move out to California. You may have some influence over where she chooses to go to college. You may. Mine went to Georgia. Anyways, you can have a little more concern, but once again, don't get caught in the circular system of thinking and worrying. The only thing you truly have control over is the center one, the control. And that, the only thing you can control is yourself. So spend the most time on the center. Control. I can control myself. The things of influence, well, okay, so that takes up a little bit of your time. The outer ring, just let it go. Let it go. Now, I want to also add that in the influence ring, for some political things, you do have some influence. You can call your congressman, your senator. You can get involved in communities that support whatever it is that you want to support. So that's a little bit of influence. But really, you only have yourself that you can control. And so spend the most time on that. So let's say together, I am the peace I want to see.
I am the peace I want to see.
And once again, I am the
Peace I want to see.
And know that this is so. So I hope you take one more practice from what we do, one of these practices that we talked about, or maybe think about your own, so that when you're triggered, you have something you can pull out of the bookshelf real quick, the mental bookshelf. You can pick, do, come to peace. I do have one song. I think, yeah, we've got enough time. I've got one song, and then Paulette's got a beautiful song she's going to also be adding to this. So it's a peaceful day, isn't it? I wrote this, Reverend Ginny asked me to write it. She said, we need a song about peace. It's like, okay, sure. She used it for, I think there was some meeting at Unity Taiwan. Anyways. Wherever I am right now, I can find peace. Whatever the situation, I can be a force for peace. My words, my thoughts, my actions, I have a choice to be. Peace in the midst, peace in the midst, peace in the midst of the storm. I gather up my thoughts and feelings, put them all aside, then open to a field of peace where love can be my guide. Wherever I am right now, I can find peace. Whatever the situation, I can be a force for peace. My words, my thoughts, my actions, I have a choice to be. Peace in the midst, peace in the midst, peace in the midst of the storm. We're living in such crazy times, a second civil war. But when love becomes the rule of law, we'll find the peace we're looking for. Wherever I am right now, I can find peace. Whatever the situation, I can be a force for peace. My words, my thoughts, my actions, I have a choice to be. Peace in the midst, peace in the midst, peace in the midst of the storm. Peace in the midst of the storm.
As you know, it's Black History Month, so I've tried to choose some songs that reflect that. And this one in particular, Florence Price was a woman, of course, and she lived in the late 19th and early 20th century. And she wrote many works for piano and symphony orchestra. She was the first African American composer to have a work performed by a symphony orchestra. So this song is part of a collection of 6 pieces for piano. It's title number 5, but it's very peaceful. What do you think?
now it's time to bless the offering. We're going to be holding it. Okay. I'm going to get this down. I really am. Let's hold our offering in our hand, hold it to our heart, and send wonderful magnetic energy to it as we pass the bags around. We're going to pass bags and say our prayer of plenty. In the infinity of this moment, all is perfect, whole, and complete. We acknowledge the one presence and one power, expressing through us in Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center. Every moment of every day, we open our hearts to the wisdom and intelligence that exists in the universe and in our lives, through which all resources and all healing comes. All doubt is released as we trust that our needs are being met in this moment. Divine order is unfolding for our highest good now, and so it is. And take a moment to place your offering in the bag. And of course, you can do Zephy. There's a QR code. And if you're watching at home, you can donate by check or PayPal. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. Thank you. And I want to take a minute to acknowledge those that give online. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This goes towards keeping our community alive and vibrant and bringing workshops and events that enrich spiritually. I want to personally thank you all. Thank you. And let us read the announcements. This feels so good. Y'all put some really good energy into this.
Okay, today is Super Sunday. We should have some homemade soups in the back for you to purchase. Not just to have for snack today, these are for purchase, for a fundraiser. Each container is $5, and next week we're having another Super Sunday after church. There will be a board meeting after fellowship today, and anybody interested may come and observe. The meeting usually starts around 12:15, lasts about an hour. Upcoming events this week: gentle yoga on Wednesday, 7 to 8. Canda's healing sound bath on Saturday, 11 to 12. Weekly meditation led by Daryl Key, Saturday, 1 to 1:40. And there are flyers in the foyer. Is that how we say it?
Yes, we're very French.
If you're not already getting the weekly newsletter, go to unitywilliamsburg.com and sign up there. Anybody have announcements from the congregation?
Want to know what the soups are?
I don't know what the soups are.
Do you want to know?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So, Cuban black bean and veggie chili. Big.
I'm going to have dinner for a week.
Yeah. Cool. It was freezing too, you know.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, and the prayer chaplain today is Jude Eastman. I will be back in the corner offering one-on-one prayers. We've got the prayer box up here. You prefer to just drop a prayer in there, and we pick them up. The chaplains pray over them for a week, send them on to Silent Unity for another 30 days. Anytime during the week. If you need a prayer, email Prayer Unity Williamsburg, all one word, prayerunitywilliamsburg@gmail.com. As always, prayers are held in confidence. And after service, join us in that. We are not getting in a circle. We are standing where we are because of all the nasty viruses going around.
I know you've heard about it on the news. There's a huge spike going on. So we will stand, do our prayer for protection,
And first we will.
oh, and so blessing the speaker. I think all of us contributed today. So let's do that for all of us. Okay? We love us. We bless us. We appreciate us. And we behold the Christ in us. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Amen. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.